Have you ever wondered what it's really like to live alone in your golden years? I'm 80, and I've been living solo for the past decade. Let me tell you, it's been quite a ride. There are things about living alone at this age that no one warns you about. So grab a cup of tea, settle in, and let me share what I've learned. 1. You become your own superhero. Living alone means being your own safety net. It's both empowering and scary. I once slipped in the shower. Luckily, I wasn't hurt, but it made me realize I needed a plan. Now, I keep my phone with me everywhere, even in the bathroom. It might seem extreme, but it gives me peace of mind. I installed a smart doorbell, too. It lets me see who's at the door without getting up. Plus, my kids can check on me if I don't answer their calls. Being your own superhero means thinking ahead. It's about being prepared, not paranoid. Remember, it's okay to ask for help. I have a neighbor who checks on me daily. We have a system. I open my curtains every morning. If they're still closed by 10 a.m., she knows to call. I've also invested in some tech gadgets. My smartwatch can detect falls and call for help if needed. It's like having a personal guardian angel on my wrist. I've made some modifications to my home, too. Grab bars in the bathroom, non-slip mats in the shower, better lighting in hallways, small changes that make a big difference in safety. I keep a list of emergency contacts on my fridge. It includes my doctor, my kids, and my neighbors. Everyone knows where to find it if needed. I've learned to listen to my body. If something feels off, I don't hesitate to call my doctor. Better safe than sorry, right? Taking charge of your safety is liberating. It allows you to enjoy your independence fully. It's about creating a safe environment that enables you to live life on your terms. 2. Silence can be deafening, but also golden. The quiet hits you hard when you first live alone, especially if you're used to a bustling household. I remember the first few weeks after my wife passed. The silence was unbearable. I'd leave the TV on just for background noise. But over time, I've grown to appreciate the quiet. It gives me space to think, to remember, to dream. Now, I have a balance. I enjoy my peaceful mornings with a cup of coffee. But in the afternoons, I often play music or audiobooks. I've discovered podcasts, too. They're great company when I'm doing chores. It feels like having a conversation, even if I'm not speaking. Sometimes, I sit in my backyard and just listen to nature. The birds, the wind in the trees. It's a different kind of music. I've learned to differentiate between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is painful, but solitude can be nourishing. In the quiet moments, I've rediscovered the joy of reading. I can lose myself in a good book for hours. It's a wonderful way to travel without leaving my armchair. I've also started practicing mindfulness. Just a few minutes of quiet meditation each day helps center me and reduces stress. Some days I challenge myself to embrace the silence fully. No TV, no radio, no phone. It's surprising how loud your thoughts can be when everything else is quiet. The silence has taught me to be comfortable with myself, to enjoy my own company. It's a skill that served me well in my later years. The key is finding your own rhythm with silence. Some days you'll crave it. Other days you'll want to break it. Both are okay. It's about learning to use the silence to enrich your life, not diminish it. 3. Your social circle might shrink, but it can also deepen. Living alone doesn't mean being lonely, but it does mean being more intentional about your social life. My social circle has definitely shrunk over the years. Friends have moved away or passed on. It's a hard reality of aging. But the friendships I have now are deeper. We check on each other regularly. We share meals. We reminisce about old times and make new memories. I've had to step out of my comfort zone to make new connections. I joined a local chess club. I was nervous at first, but now I look forward to our weekly games. Technology has been a game changer. I video call my grandkids every Sunday. It's not the same as hugging them, but seeing their faces brightens my whole week. I've even made friends online. There's a forum for classic car enthusiasts that I frequent. We may never meet in person, but we share a passion. I've learned to value quality over quantity in relationships. A few good friends can fill your life with joy more than a large circle of acquaintances. I make an effort to stay connected with my community. I volunteer at the local library once a week. It gets me out of the house and allows me to meet people of all ages. I've found that shared experiences create strong bonds. I joined a senior travel group last year. We take day trips to nearby attractions. It's a great way to explore and make friends at the same time. I've also learned to be more open about my feelings. If I'm feeling lonely, I reach out to a friend or family member. Most times they're happy to chat or visit or eat. Maintaining friendships takes effort, especially as you get older. But it's worth it. These connections are vital for our mental and emotional well-being. Remember, it's never too late to make new friends or deepen existing relationships. Stay open to new connections. You never know where you might find your next great friendship. 4. Keeping up with housework becomes a real challenge. Let's be honest, housework gets harder as you get older, and when you're living alone, there's no one to share the load. I used to pride myself on keeping a spotless home. Now, I've had to adjust my standards, and that's okay. I focus on keeping things tidy rather than perfect. I do a little bit each day instead of trying to tackle everything at once. I've invested in some gadgets that make life easier. A robot vacuum is worth its weight in gold, and those grabber tools are great for reaching high shelves or picking things up off the floor. For bigger jobs, I'm not too proud to ask for help. My son comes over once a month to help with yard work, and I hire a cleaning service for a deep clean every quarter. I've learned to prioritize. The dishes need to be done daily, but dusting can wait a bit. It's about focusing on what's essential for health and comfort. I've rearranged my home to make cleaning easier. I got rid of knickknacks that just collected dust. I moved furniture to create clear pathways. Less clutter means less to clean. I've developed a cleaning schedule that works for me. Mondays are for laundry, Wednesdays for vacuuming, Fridays for bathroom cleaning. Having a routine helps me stay on top of things without feeling overwhelmed. I've learned some tricks to make cleaning easier. like using a squeegee on the shower walls after each use to prevent soap scum buildup, or using vinegar and baking soda for tough stains instead of harsh chemicals that can be hard to handle. I've also learned to be kinder to myself. If I'm not feeling well, the cleaning can wait. My health and well-being come first. It's about finding a balance between maintaining your home and enjoying your life. Don't let housework become a source of stress. A lived-in home is a happy home, even if it's not always picture perfect. Or 5. Cooking for one is an art, and sometimes a chore. Cooking for yourself can be tricky. Sometimes it feels like too much effort for just one person. I went through a phase of living on microwave meals, but I quickly realized that wasn't doing my health any favors. Now, I approach cooking as a form of self-care. I plan my meals for the week. I make larger portions and freeze some for later. I've discovered the joy of slow cookers. I can throw ingredients in the morning and have a delicious meal ready by dinner time. I've also started experimenting with new recipes. It's become a hobby. I even joined an online cooking group for seniors. We share recipes and cooking tips. On days when I don't feel like cooking, I have healthy ready meals in the freezer, or I'll treat myself to takeout. It's all about balance. I've learned to shop smarter. I buy smaller quantities of perishables to avoid waste. I make good use of my freezer, storing individual portions for easy meals later. I've adjusted my cooking methods too. I use the microwave and toaster oven more often. They use less energy and are easier to clean than the big oven. I've started growing some herbs on my windowsill. Fresh basil or mint can really liven up a simple dish. Plus, tending to the plants gives me a sense of purpose. I've learned to make meals more of an event. I set the table properly, even if it's just for me. Sometimes I'll invite a neighbor over to share a meal. It makes cooking feel more worthwhile. I've found ways to make cooking easier on days when I have less energy. I keep a stock of pre-chopped vegetables in the freezer. I use jarred garlic and ginger instead of fresh. These little shortcuts make it easier to put together a healthy meal. Remember, eating well is crucial for your health. It's worth the effort to prepare good meals, even if it's just for yourself. Cooking for one can be a challenge, but it can also be an opportunity to explore new tastes and take care of yourself. 6. Your daily routine becomes your anchor. When you live alone, your daily routine becomes incredibly important. It gives structure to your days. I start each morning with a cup of coffee on my porch. It's my time to plan my day and set my intentions. I have set days for different activities. Mondays are for grocery shopping. Wednesdays are for phone calls with friends. Saturdays are for trying new recipes. This routine keeps me grounded. It gives me things to look forward to. It helps me keep track of time. But I also make room for spontaneity. If a friend calls and wants to meet for lunch, I'm happy to adjust my schedule. I've learned that a good routine should energize you, not drain you. I make sure to include activities I enjoy every day, not just chores. I use a big wall calendar to keep track of appointments and events. It helps me stay organized and gives me a visual reminder of what's coming up. I've built some healthy habits into my routine. I take a walk every afternoon, weather permitting. I do some light stretching before bed. These small habits add up to better overall health. I make sure to include social activities in my routine. Whether it's a phone call with a friend or a visit to the community center, regular social interaction is important. I've learned to listen to my body and adjust my routine as needed. Some days I have more energy than others, and that's okay. I try to end each day on a positive note. I spend a few minutes before bed reflecting on what I'm grateful for. It helps me maintain a positive outlook. Your routine should serve you, not restrict you. It's about finding a balance that works for you. A good routine can provide comfort and stability, especially when you're living alone. But remember, it's okay to break from routine sometimes too. Life is about balance. 7. Staying active requires more effort, but it's worth it. When you live alone, it's easy to become sedentary. There's no one around to suggest a walk or join you for a swim. I've had to be intentional about staying active. I set a daily step goal for myself. I use a fitness tracker to keep me accountable. I joined a senior fitness class at the local community center. It's great exercise, and I've made some good friends too. On days when I can't get out, I follow along with exercise videos on YouTube. There are plenty designed specifically for seniors. I've also taken up gardening. It gets me outside and moving. Plus, I get to enjoy fresh vegetables. I've learned that every bit of movement counts. I do heel raises while waiting for the kettle to boil. I stretch while watching TV. These small movements add up over the day. I try to mix up my activities to keep things interesting. Some days it's a brisk walk. Other days it might be some gentle yoga or Tai Chi. I've found that having a workout buddy helps, even if we're not in the same place. My daughter and I have a pact to text each other after we've exercised. It's a nice way to stay connected and motivated. I make sure to celebrate my fitness achievements, no matter how small. Reaching my step goal or trying a new exercise class are wins in my book. I've learned to listen to my body. Some days I can do more, other days less. The important thing is to keep moving, even if it's just a little. I try to make physical activity fun. I put on music and dance while doing housework. I challenge myself to do a few extra reps or steps each week. Remember, any movement is better than no movement, even if it's just stretching while watching TV or dancing in your kitchen. Staying active isn't just about physical health. It boosts your mood and keeps your mind sharp too. It's one of the best things you can do for yourself, especially when living alone. 8. Managing your health becomes a full-time job. As you get older, health issues tend to crop up more frequently. When you're living alone, you have to stay on top of things. I keep a detailed health journal. I note any symptoms, medication changes, and questions for my doctor. I use a pill organizer to keep track of my medications. I also set reminders on my phone for when to take them. Regular checkups are crucial. I schedule all my appointments for the year in advance. It helps me stay proactive about my health. I've learned to be my own advocate. I research my conditions and treatments. I'm not afraid to ask my doctor questions or seek a second opinion. I make sure to keep all my medical information in one place. I have a folder with my medical history, current medications, and emergency contacts. It's easy to grab if I need to go to the hospital. I've learned the importance of preventive care. I get my flu shot every year. I stay up to date on recommended screenings for my age group. I try to stay informed about health issues that affect seniors. I attend health seminars at the local community center. Knowledge is power when it comes to managing your health. I've found that mental health is just as important as physical health. I make sure to do activities that keep my mind active, like crossword puzzles or learning a new language. I've learned to pay attention to my body. If something doesn't feel right, I don't ignore it. It's better to get things checked out early. I try to maintain a positive attitude about my health. Yes, there are challenges, but I focus on what I can do rather than what I can't. It can feel overwhelming at times, but remember, taking care of your health is an investment in your independence. It allows you to continue living life on your terms. 9. Your home becomes both your sanctuary and your challenge. When you live alone, your home takes on new significance. It's your personal space, tailored entirely to your needs and preferences. I've rearranged my home to suit my lifestyle. My favorite chair is now in the sunniest spot. I've converted the spare bedroom into a hobby room. But maintaining a home can also be challenging. There are always repairs or updates needed. I've had to learn to prioritize. Some things can wait, others can't. I keep a list of trusted handymen for jobs I can't handle myself. I've also had to think about the future. I've made some modifications to make my home safer and more accessible as I age. I've learned to see my home with fresh eyes. I regularly assess what's working and what isn't. It's okay to change things up if they're not serving you anymore. I've become more mindful of energy efficiency. I've switched to LED bulbs and installed a programmable thermostat. It's good for the environment and my wallet. I've created spaces in my home for different activities. A cozy reading nook, a small workout area, a dedicated space for my hobbies. It helps me stay active and engaged. I've learned the importance of good lighting. As my eyesight isn't what it used to be, proper lighting makes a big difference in how I navigate my home. I try to keep things simple. Less clutter means less to clean and maintain. Plus, it reduces the risk of tripping hazards. I've learned to embrace technology that makes home management easier. Smart home devices can help with everything from security to temperature control. Your home should be a source of comfort, not stress. It's okay to let some things go and focus on what truly matters to you. Your home should work for you, not the other way around. 10. You discover a new kind of freedom. Living alone at this age comes with a unique kind of freedom. There's no one to answer to but yourself. I can eat ice cream for breakfast if I want to. I can stay up late reading or wake up at dawn to watch the sunrise. I've rediscovered old hobbies and found new ones. I'm learning to play the ukulele. Who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks? But with this freedom comes responsibility. I have to make all the decisions, big and small. It can be daunting at times. I've learned to trust my judgment. to take risks sometimes, and to ask for advice when I need it. This freedom has allowed me to really get to know myself, to figure out what truly makes me happy. I've discovered the joy of spontaneity. If I wake up and decide I want to take a day trip, I can just go. No need to coordinate with anyone else's schedule. I've learned to be more selfish with my time, in a good way. I can spend hours on my hobbies without feeling guilty. It's liberating to focus on what I want to do, not what others expect of me. This freedom has also taught me the importance of self-discipline. With no one else to keep me accountable, I've had to learn to motivate myself. It's been challenging at times, but ultimately rewarding. I've found new ways to express myself. I started writing poetry, something I never had time for when I was working and raising a family. It's become a wonderful outlet for my thoughts and feelings. This freedom has allowed me to explore my spirituality more deeply. I can spend time in quiet reflection or attend religious services as I see fit, without having to compromise with anyone else's beliefs or schedule. I've learned to appreciate the small freedoms too, like being able to watch whatever I want on TV, or leaving the dishes in the sink overnight if I don't feel like doing them right away. But perhaps the greatest freedom is the freedom to just be myself. Without the roles of husband, father, or employee defining me, I've had the chance to figure out who I really am at my core. Living alone doesn't mean being lonely or inactive. It's an opportunity to shape your life exactly as you want it, to discover new aspects of yourself, and to grow in ways you might never have expected. Remember, living alone doesn't mean you're alone. Reach out to friends and family. Engage with your community. Use technology to stay connected. Most importantly, be kind to yourself. Celebrate your independence. Embrace this new chapter of your life. After all, you've earned the right to live life on your own terms. Make the most of it. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to an old-timer like me. And drop a comment below. I'd love to hear about your own experiences or any questions you might have. Your stories and perspectives are just as valuable as mine. Stay tuned for our next video.